Hey y'all, it's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day. I'm your host, Brendan Nabin, with my two co-hosts. With my co-host to my left, Rashad Pennell, and my co-host to my right, Kyler Lewis. We're coming to you on WODU Studios, the best in college radio. How y'all gentlemen doing today? Y'all having a good day so far, man? Let me know how y'all feeling. Kyler, let's start with you. How you feeling today, bro?
I'm doing good. Just got out of class. Almost fell asleep, but it was good. It was good. Got a little.
Bro, you can't keep almost nearly falling asleep in class, man. This is what
I mean,
you're paying
it's
for.
Almost nearly falling asleep.
No, but this is what you're paying.
Focusing.
Yeah, you're not paying attention to anything.
It's just that my eyes close every 2 or 3 seconds.
Oh, okay. I guess. How about you, Rashad? How you feeling?
You know, these 6 a.m. shifts getting to me. I already told you about my morning going to work. Yeah, got me all discombobulated, man. We go. We ready to talk some sports.
Rashad seems like he's gone through some things. On his
I tell you, there was something behind me, bro. Something was behind me. Something was behind me, yo. Khaled, all the street lights went out. I was skating, everything just dropped off.
Chill.
I turned around, there was a shadow figure behind me, and I was out. I was moving like I was on a car or something. I was out.
Well, guys, we got a good amount of topics for y'all today. We're gonna get into talking about the NBA trade deadline, of course. Seeing who's gonna be moved around, everything because the deadline's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So we're gonna get into that. Also, we're gonna talk about the Peyton Manning sexual assault scandal, because it seems like that's all everybody's been concerned about for the past week or so. And then we'll also you know what I mean. And then we'll also get into how everything's looking after the All-Star break for the Golden State Warriors, because they technically just can only lose 5 more games from this point on, and they play the Spurs 3 more times and the Thunder 2 more times. So we'll see how we talk about how we feel about that, and then we'll also get into the Mount Rushmore of sports. This is like the culmination of every sport. Who is the best? Remember, Mount Rushmore only got 4 heads now, so it's talking about who's the most impactful and most polarizing figures from whatever 4 sports that has had the most impact on today's society and the sports world itself. But also, guys, we want to throw a shout out to the WODU Studios, because they're going to be having a promotional event at Work Release on next week, a week from tomorrow, Thursday, on February 25th. It's going to be a Throwback Thursday event, and for those 21 and above, it's free. 18-year-olds and older is going to be $5. But the address is 759 Granby Street, and it's going to be multiple DJs there. DJ Nene is going to be there, and it's going to be Smee's going to be there, Dan Stuckey, TMO Bile. I struggle to say these names sometimes, guys. I'm sorry. But it's gonna be partnered with WODU Studios and WIR. So y'all make sure y'all come out to support for that. And also on the 20th, we're gonna have an event here at ODU for the veterans. What was it? Veterans Health Fair. Yeah. So WODU is gonna be partnering with the Veterans Health Fair, and they're gonna be having an event here on the 20th. So everybody, make sure you come out and show y'all support. All right, it's going to be a great event, and just the same thing with the Work Release event next week. It's going to be great. But to get it off to kick it, well,
also you can listen to us on the Rabble app.
There you go. Yeah,
and we'll also be our podcast will be saved to iTunes, so you can listen to them later.
See, guys, this is why you can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. It's impossible. Okay, no matter what anybody tells you, you need help along the way. You need people to support you, and these guys are my support, and I support them the same way. So you got, you know what I'm saying? You guys, you can't get where you want to go on your own. But also to get also for anybody else who you also, if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see our shows and everything, it's at KBR Sports. You see our past shows and everything, and future shows that we plan on having. And then subscribe to the WODU Live YouTube channel where you see other people's shows and our shows on there as well. And then you guys can also, like Khalid was saying, go on iTunes and listen to our past shows and everything. You can hear our past podcasts and everything. If maybe you're driving to work or whatever, and you're like, man, I need some KBR Sports in my life. You know what I mean? Like, let me
the perfect show to just listen to.
Yeah, man. Just go ahead and pop in, turn on some iTunes. You know what I mean? I know everybody half the world got an iPhone, so you can't tell me you don't have iTunes. So, you be good. And then you can listen to us on Spreaker. You can listen to us on on Rabble, like Khalid was saying, yeah, like Rashad also said, you can listen to us on all those things. We got so many different outlets, y'all. We're trying to become worldwide here.
Yeah.
We're trying to expand. That's the goal. You got to expand.
We already got our Latvian fans out here.
We do. Yeah. Shout out to the fans in Latvia, man. I know y'all listen to us because of Christos Porzingis, but shout out to y'all because, man, those are some dedicated fans.
They are.
Man, y'all
show love.
They probably listen to us and they're like, these Americans sound so different. You know what I mean? Like they listen to us and they're probably like, man, these guys just sound so different. But
I know they're talking about Kristaps. So.
Yeah, exactly. They love the Kristaps talk. So shout out to y'all, man. Y'all the real MVPs for real. But to kick it off, man, start talking about Peyton Manning, guys. It's something that it's unfortunate we have to get into it. But if it's anybody else, we would also be talking about it for them as well. So we got to talk about this whole sexual assault scandal that's coming up with Peyton Manning. Apparently, his alleged sexual assault because recently a Title IX lawsuit was filed against the University of Tennessee, University of Tennessee, where they say they had a very aggressive sexual system there, that kind of provokes sexual assault kind of thing. And in 1996, Peyton Manning was involved in an altercation with sexual assault where he had apparently. This is the story, but Manning has a different version of his own story. So apparently the situation that happened from the trainer's point of view is that Manning had put his genitalia in her face. But from Manning's perspective, he says that he was trying to moon a teammate. And then when he was trying to moon his teammate, he fell off the top because the trainer was looking at his heel. And then he said that he fell off the trainer's table and his stuff landed in the trainer's face. But then when that same teammate was asked about it, the teammate, didn't concur with the story. The teammate said, "No, man, that didn't happen. Like he wasn't trying to moon me." And so it makes Peyton Manning look some kind of way. And so now, once again, they settled it outside of court.
Mm-hmm.
That 1996, Peyton Manning and his family settled it with the trainer outside of court. But then in 2003, the Mannings wrote a book where they brought up the trainer's name and they were kind of like, name bashing her kind of thing. And so. And she sued them for defamation for trying to slander her name because she's a well-respected doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And she has some clout in that profession. So the Mannings were kind of sliding her name in that 2003 book, even though they had reached a confidentiality agreement after the 1996 incident where she was forced to leave the university as a part of all that what happened. So the Mannings opened up their own can of worms again in 2003 for whatever reason I don't know. And now recently, the Title IX lawsuit, Manning was cited for the sexual assault thing. So now it's been reopened again. And now everybody's asking the question: is Peyton Manning the same guy that everybody's been talking about, that we all thought he was throughout all the years? Guys, let me hear what y'all have to think about it. Rashad, what do you think about this whole incident?
I appreciate the summary. For everybody who didn't know what was going on, appreciate that.
Yeah.
So. I'm not gonna be the one to sit here and say Peyton Manning is the same guy he was, 20 years ago, basically,
mm-hmm.
because he was a kid still. He was a college student playing football, trying to live his dream out. Yeah, he came from a family with athletes in it who had a dad who already played professionally and everything like that. So I'm saying there's a higher standard set for you there. But for people who are saying that Peyton Manning's not the same Peyton Manning because he did this 20 years ago. I'm just like, well, yeah, it was wrong. Yeah, that's why his name being brought back up. But is it going to do anything to his career? Kind of what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. People are going to be looking at him like, well, his career's tainted now because of his incident happened in college. Well, if that's the case, then there's a lot of people in college who have tainted careers, basically,
Yeah.
So the settlement's been agreed. I don't know potentially what's going to happen to Peyton Manning, if anything involving this case. But for people to sit there and say like, oh, I can't look at Peyton Manning the same anymore because the genitalia fell in the girl's face or something like that, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, but if people, I mean, because it was more kept down when he was at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like big news and everything like that. But in 2003, it became big news, like we said, when the family brought it up.
Yeah.
So it's not like people didn't know about it then. So, I mean, I feel like it's just reoccurring. Kind of, people say history repeats itself. It's just reoccurring. It's just like we dealt with it one time, we dealt with it twice. Now we have to deal with it a third time. So, just let the man live. 20 years ago.
All right, Khalid, what do you think?
Like Rashad was saying, the man was young. He was just a junior in college. So that I'm definitely gonna say he's not the same person that he was back then. I mean, he's been the same person that we've known throughout the years, but like back when he was a kid, still immature and still trying to learn what life was about and stuff like that. I wouldn't say it doesn't reflect on the person. Well, it does kind of doesn't reflect on the person he is now. He might have learned from his mistakes though and developed into the Peyton Manning we know. But y'all can't hold that against him like the man he is now, because he was, like you said, he was a kid. It might have been an accident. He said he was mooning the teammate. I don't know why you mooning the teammate while the doctor was checking up on you, but that's a discussion for another day. But yeah, just it doesn't reflect who he is now. I mean, Peyton Manning is still Peyton Manning. It's just odd that they bring this up all of a sudden. Like as soon as he wins last day of winning the Super Bowl, this comes on out. I mean, I understand it's the University of Tennessee, and they're like talking about the sexual assault center or whatever. But it's just odd that they just bring this back up from 20 years ago after it's already been settled, and the people said that they weren't going to comment on it.
Well, okay, the player's name who actually was the one that Manning said he had mooned that didn't agree with his report was Malcolm Saxon. But just to put that out there so people know who he is. But for y'all, because I get what y'all saying, that it doesn't change who Manning is today. But to your point, Khalid, this isn't just brought up because they won a Super Bowl. I mean, it was it's a lawsuit. So his name was cited in the lawsuit. So this is why it came back up, because not a lot of people knew about it. If you hear most of the people on ESPN, NFL Network, NFL Live, whatever, a lot of people said they didn't even know about this. And that's the question they're asking. They're like, why didn't we know about it? Because we're talking about Peyton Manning's the same guy, but why that didn't stop? This hasn't stopped people from chastising Cam Newton for his incident at Florida with the laptops. And people still bring that up today. But with Peyton Manning, we haven't heard of this for years. Most of us probably didn't even know this had happened. That's the thing. That's the question a lot of people are asking. And people are asking, why is this happening with Peyton Manning, where it's slipped under the rug? But if you had an incident with Tom Brady from years ago with with Spygate and the Patriots with Spygate, and that's still held against them today. When you hear things about the Deflategate, that's still held against them today. Everybody is quick to call them cheaters and everything. People are quick to bash Cam Newton's personality for the Florida laptop incident when that was years ago as well. And then Peyton Manning's thing, in the case of Peyton Manning, his thing didn't even come to light. Like nobody even knew about it. So people are asking, why didn't that come to light at all? I mean, social media has played a part in it, because Cam Newton's occurrence happened with social media and what it is today. But Peyton Manning's thing is just like it's as if it never even happened. You know what I mean? Because there's people that will bring up Ray Lewis's issues with that whole murder case and everything like that. There are people that bring that up. You hear people bring up the stuff. If you want to talk about all these a lot of problem athletes, people bring up so many stuff, but we didn't hear anything about Peyton Manning. And then this comes out, everybody's like, wait, where has this been all this time? It's been 20 excess years essentially, because it was 1996. We're in 2016, and it took a lawsuit. Imagine this lawsuit never was filed. Nobody would have ever heard about it.
See, this is where I feel like I have my differences kind of with you on this point, because there is a small group who knew about the Peyton Manning incident, and there's a small group, like I said, who know about the Ray Lewis. I can tell you, there's a lot of people who didn't even know about the Ray Lewis situation. Like they probably still don't even know about it, and so you're like, what? Ray Lewis did what? Stuff like that. I feel like the group that knows, it's more of a targeted certain group of people. So like the Peyton Manning situation, it might be, what I'm saying, like a lot of, like Tennessee locals or anything like that. Like a lot of people from that area may know. And then when you go to like Baltimore, a lot more Baltimore people, and then a lot more NFL people know about Ray Lewis. Kind of like, and it's also like with the Cam Newton thing, times are different. Times are a lot different, like you said, with social media and everything, than they were back then in 1996. So a lot of, like you said, there could probably been a lot of controversial stuff going on back then that just never brought up.
Yeah.
And because also you got to think about, a lot of these people didn't really have the money Peyton Manning had coming up, because Peyton Manning's father played professionally, and he came from a wealthy family already. So that you have money, like you have power like that to go do like summary judgments to keep it on the low where nobody knows about it. That's the power of summary judgment. Unless you keep everything quietly, which a lot of like celebrity stuff do when they court cases come, they keep it on the low, stuff like that. That's why I kind of feel like it's different. Now, where I feel like it's becoming a bigger issue now is because the way Peyton Manning is trying to cover it up now. Kind of how you said, like, with the, you know, you said he's mooning them, and then your friend like, yeah, bro, you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think who would sit there, like, I know there's only one person I know will probably do something like that, will sit there and like moon somebody while they're getting trained. That's my friend Hunter. That's like the only dude I know who would do something like that.
Like, why though? Like,
just to be reckless.
That's crazy.
That's like the only person I know. So like you don't sit, like, if a trainer's working on, you're not going to be like, yeah, you move my friend right now. So like, I don't know. Peyton Manning's trying to cover it up in the wrong way, and it's not working.
Well, see, here's the thing to what you said about, because a lot of people know about what happened with Ray Lewis. And remember, during that playoff run they were making years ago, when they went on that Super Bowl run, that was brought up again. A lot of people, Adam Schefter himself, this is the dude that lives NFL. If you want to know NFL stuff, you go to Adam Schefter. He didn't even know about the Peyton Manning thing. And it's one of those things that it wasn't even brought up when he was getting drafted. That's the thing when people are talking about. Like, this wasn't even part of his report when he got drafted. So people are saying, why is it that this man, like, his stuff was kept so under wrap? And then it was brought up in 2003 when they put her in the book and they try to, you know, defamate her name, but it was brought up. And think about it, nobody knew about it then. So it was one of those things that they broke the confidentiality thing, and then she sued them in 2003 again, and then it didn't come back up again. Like, nobody heard about it. So it's one of those things that people are saying, why didn't people pay as much attention to this? Granted that social media is on a different level today than it is now, than it was back then. But the media still covered Cam Newton's incident with, you know, intense coverage. They covered Spygate. They covered Ray Lewis. They covered Johnny Manziel. Like, everything Johnny Manziel now does, if he walks out of his house, I know. Like, everything Johnny Manziel does is in the papers to, like, an extreme extent. So people are pretty much just saying, if this was another player, not Peyton Manning, who's been the golden boy of the NFL for years, the guy who doesn't do anything wrong, who's always politically correct. Yeah, who's squeaky clean, who's politically correct. I think the fact that it's just the fact, because so many of these guys that even played with him didn't even know about this. And these guys have been covering the league for excess 20, 30 years. And they didn't even know about this happening. It wasn't even listed in his draft report. It wasn't listed in 2003 when I think he went to the Super Bowl a few years after that, but it wasn't even listed in 2003 when it happened. Then nobody brought it up. Then it just stayed under wraps. And I to your point, you did say that when you have a lot of money, you can make things go away. But it's the fact of the matter, because when you're a college kid, you're gonna get drafted. There's a report that people do on you that, I mean, people know about. They'll say things about Des Bryant's attitude or something like that when he was getting drafted, or they will say something about Jadeveon Clowney's work ethic, Randy Gregory's this and that, Jamie Collins this and that, Lyle Collins this and that. Like, they say so many different things in these draft reports that they're like, so why didn't this happen with Peyton Manning? Why was he exempt? Why didn't he, you know, get the same treatment as everybody else would have gotten? And if that's the case, why aren't we treating him the same way we've treated all these other athletes through time? Because what makes him better than anybody else? He's just another guy that's played football just like anybody else. I mean, he's been great. That's the truth. He's been great. But, you know, being great didn't stop us from bringing up Brett Favre stuff with just some text messages with a woman from the Jets, right? So why has it stopped us from bringing up this thing with Peyton Manning for so many years?
We actually had somebody in actually our comments talking about it, saying they agree with us, and that basically, like, he doesn't buy a story either. He doesn't buy, you know, the mooning type story, but at the same time, he's like, it's just football, you know what I'm saying? So it's still just like, there's nothing to do with his football, like, tainting his career, because people are trying to go against saying his career is, like, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna take a downfall now because of it, like, his career ain't gonna mean as much.
Yeah.
And he also saying and ESPN actually told them to stay quiet about it when the whole story broke on Saturday. ESPN needs to look at their reporting and stop being biased.
Yes. So you can't favor one guy, and then, you know what I mean? Like, you got to report everybody the same way, because if you don't, then it's gonna create this like, that's what makes people like Richard Sherman's and them mad. This is what makes everybody upset, because when Richard Sherman was being paraded as a bad dude because he was a smack talker, he was like, yo, y'all gonna talk about me? What about Tom Brady? Tom Brady talks just as much smack as I do, and he's a quarterback. I have to go out there and hit guys. Tom Brady, he's the guy I have to hit. I have to cover people that Tom Brady's trying to throw to. And y'all want to talk about me because I talk smack. Tom Brady talks just as much smack as I do. So this is the kind of stuff that makes other football players mad. You might say some African-American players as well, because if they feel as though they were in this situation,
it wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same. They would have got this same kind of, their stories would have been brought out into the light. Just like we talked about, like Rashad said, Cam Newton is a whole different thing, but we think about what's happened with Cam Newton over the past few weeks. This man walked out of a press conference, and it was 2 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago. People are still talking about it now. Peyton Manning was involved in a sexual assault lawsuit, and it's been 20 years, and nobody's heard anything about it until now. And it got reopened in 2003, and we haven't heard anything about it. And it took a lawsuit from Tennessee. And granted, sexual assault wasn't as big a deal back in those days as it is now. That's a true testament. You know, the country's made, you know, we've taken great strides in our society that a lot of these issues have become bigger, such as domestic violence and stuff like that. But the fact of the matter is, can we say that if it was another player, this wouldn't have become as big a deal? Or would that player not have been the #1 overall pick if it was another player?
I mean, I feel like if the media loved him, then they would have got swept under the rug too.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. I mean, that ain't stop. The media loves Tom Brady, but at the end of the day, it ain't stop everybody from calling him. Well, here's the media loves Tom Brady, but then you have the people that hate the Patriots. So there's gonna be people that
hate the Patriots because they win.
Exactly. But
so they throw Tom Brady.
Here's the thing: Peyton Manning doesn't win as much as the Patriots. So he's just the golden boy of the NFL. Tom Brady and the Patriots have been to 6 Super Bowls since Tom Brady's been the quarterback. They've won 4 out of those 6. So I mean, you can hate them all you want. You call them cheaters. But they weren't cheating. They weren't cheating every six years that they went to the Super Bowl, my friends. I'm sorry. Every 4 of those times they won, they didn't cheat. I'm sorry. It's not. No.
But see, that was I don't hold that really against Tom Brady as much, because that was a whole team collectively, except where they kind of try to isolate Tom Brady. That's the main one. They try to isolate. But
think about it. Tom Brady wasn't even. It was Bill Belichick that did Spygate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying.
I know. I'm getting to your point. I'm saying, but think about that. It was Bill Belichick that was the headmaster of Spygate. But then people were so quick to call Tom Brady and Bill Belichick cheaters when Deflategate happened. People were like, "There's no way Tom didn't know about the football's being deflated." So if there was a Peyton Manning, he got the benefit of the doubt. Oh, he's too good to cheat. He could never cheat. Peyton Manning uses.
Tom Brady knows exactly how much air is supposed to be in the ball when he gets it.
I mean, quarterbacks touch the ball more than anybody. I mean, you get the ball from under the center. You're getting the ball. You're throwing it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You're touching the ball a lot. You know what I mean. You hand the ball off to the running back, but it's like people were calling him a cheater just before the facts even came out. And then even when Roger Goodell and their suspension to him got overturned because the NFL said you didn't find conclusive evidence to say that Tom Brady or Bill Belichick knew that the footballs were deflated, people were still saying cheaters anyway. Ask me, they cheat. They're cheating. They cheat anyway. I'm sorry. I guess they cheated when they beat Seattle in the Super Bowl with regular inflated balls, right? Yeah, I guess they cheated then too. I guess they cheated in the second half when they whooped the Colts, huh? They held them scoreless, right?
They was lucky.
You said the Super Bowl was lucky.
Super Bowl was lucky.
Hey,
oh Lord,
you need some.
It's not that hard. You run it on the one. You run on the one.
Hey,
it's not that hard.
Hey man, you talk to Pete Carroll about that. Hey, Bill Belichick ain't tripping. He's going like this.
Yeah. I've seen so many different videos of people playing Madden where they do it 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, that's Madden.
It's Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is Madden.
But it's crazy because there's actually a funny stat released at the end of the year talking about how Marshawn Lynch on 3rd and 1 conversions and 1 yard to go, he actually wasn't as effective as he is with like 3 to 4 yards to go. I don't know why. It was a weird stat. Yeah, it was a weird stat that ESPN keeps tracking.
You taking a 3 over a layup?
You said what?
You taking a 3 over a layup?
Nah, man.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
It's not equated to the same.
That's the same thing.
No, it's
like
not.
You told me. You said you're not taking 3s over layups. I am.
I would have handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. I agree with you. I would have handed it off to him. But I'm just telling you the stat that he wasn't. When it came to 3rd and 1 situations, the stats showed he tended to not get the first down. So that was a goal line situation. That was a goal line. You're right. That was a goal line situation in which Beast Mode had just gotten 3 to 4 yards on the last carry. Who knows, man? Who knows?
2 years ago,
But hey, all we know. But hey, one play doesn't make the game.
It makes that game.
Well, it makes that game.
Oh, come on, man.
No,
so the David Tyree catch made the Patriots game 2007.
If he didn't make that catch with the Giants won,
who knows?
Come on, Brendan.
Who knows? Who knows, guys? Come on. Who knows?
Move on.
Brendan, move on. Come on.
I don't know.
Move on.
No. Don't
one play.
Move on.
I don't want to hear it. I'm just saying, man. One play don't make a game, guys. You guys know this. Come on, man. Yes, the players themselves, they'll tell you, man, we lost. You know, we can't blame this on one play. We
those 2 plays.
They knew it was a play. They knew it was that one play.
I'll move on like you guys told me to. But guys, going on. Tomorrow marks the end of the NBA trade deadline at 3 p.m. Eastern time. The trade deadline ends, so a lot of teams are scrambling to get their moving parts in order to get into championship contention. We hear a lot of talks with the Cavaliers being involved for talks for Ben McLemore from Sacramento. We're hearing a lot of the most notable name that's being marked around is Dwight Howard, who people are talking about might opt out of his contract at the end of this season, because he could opt in and make $23 million. Guys, this isn't that crazy. He opted out of a $23 million player option, but that's neither here or there. But he could opt out, and hopefully he would try and get max money in this new salary cap, which he would go for a $30 million type contract per year contract. And now at this point, his contract is being shot by the Rockets because they're paying him so much money and they're at 500. So it's like they're not really getting return on their investments. So him, Blake Griffin, Kevin Love, a lot of players are in the trade talks. There were a couple trades that went down yesterday. Orlando Magic and the Detroit Pistons. They traded the Orlando Magic traded Tobias Harris to the Pistons for Brandon Jennings and Ersan Ilyasova. And then you have the trade that happened a few days ago with the Heat, the Grizzlies, and there was another team involved in the Hornets. Hornets, yeah. And there was a 3-way trade in there. So there's been a lot of trades going down. A lot of teams are trying to get their trades done before the deadline. So guys, who do you think? What team is most likely to make a move by the trade deadline tomorrow, and which team do you think needs to make the move the most? Khaled, let's start with you. What do you think?
You mentioned a whole lot of teams just now and a whole lot of possible trades, but there's one I want to point out. The Blake Griffin one. I don't think they're gonna be giving up Blake Griffin to Clippers, but they were talking about the trade to with Orlando Magic about Channing Frye. I think that's his name, Channing Frye for Lance Stevenson. Now, Channing Frye would be a great addition to the Clippers lineup because he's actually a big man that can
shoot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it would be perfect for the Clippers lineup whenever they go up against the Warriors, because he can defend and he can also have the perimeter to go against it. But the thing is, they would have to give up Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson's all right. Man's good. Man's good. He's good. But yeah, I feel like, and they said that they was gonna make a decision by today. So I think that's one of the trades that's definitely gonna be that's gonna happen. They're gonna give up Lance Stevenson. And the thing is, with Orlando Magic, Lance Stevenson, his contract, I think, his thing would be waived or whatever. So he would become a free agent. So he wouldn't even play in Orlando. And then Orlando will have the money to find other players that they may need for their organization as well. Yeah. So I feel like that trade will be very beneficial for them. I don't think the Clippers going to give up Blake Griffin, even though he is out for 7 weeks, or possibly 7 weeks. But Lance Stevenson would be a good trade for them to get Channing Frye.
Yeah. Okay. Rashad, what do you think?
Before I say, don't forget, people, y'all can call in and join in on the debate.
Yeah, definitely.
At 757-683-4405.
Yeah.
You can also tweet us and comment on YouTube. Make sure you want to get in also.
KBR_sports.
Yeah, KBR_sports on Twitter.
And don't forget, guys, about the plug about the Veterans Health thing going on here.
February 20th.
February 20th.
From 9 to 1.
Yeah, from 9 to 1. Make sure y'all join in. It's partnering with WODU Studios. Make sure y'all come through and show y'all support. And then don't forget the event going on Work Release a week from tomorrow on February 25th. Starts at 9 o'clock. And, we got a lot of people coming through that's going to show some love. Y'all come through. And it's going to be a Throwback Thursday event. So you're going to be spinning a lot of the most favorite tunes. You know what I'm saying?
The most favorite.
West Philadelphia, born and raised. Man, most of my days. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Rashad.
So with what Khalid was saying about Blake Griffin, Doc Rivers kind of just shut that down. He was like, yeah, yo, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much ownership he has when it comes to dealing with.
He runs the player operations.
He runs the player operations, so Steve Ballmer has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he's president of player operations.
So yeah, so that's a shutdown. So Blake Griffin's staying, which is the smartest decision the Clippers made this season. So keeping him there is gonna be key. What's the most interesting, I think, beneficial trade will be the Dwight Howard trade to possibly the Nuggets, because one, the Rockets, like you said, the Rockets is 500 now. Freeing up that much cap space to bring in, which is about to be a strong free agent class, is going to be helpful, because Dwight Howard doesn't give you the productivity that you're expecting him to give you for what, $30 million. So it's time to let him go. He's not working well with James Harden. They can't play together. Thought he was gonna be better than he was with the Lakers. Looked like to me his numbers aren't kind of like the same. Now the Shedding Fry thing, what you were saying, that is where it gets kind of tricky. Shedding Fry is getting a little older. Shedding Fry isn't the same Shedding Fry that came in the league that can spread the floor out easily as much as he used to do, hit the three balls as easy as he used to do. Getting older, getting a little more slow, but it's still, I don't think he's a better addition than Lance Stevenson, because Lance Stevenson, one, he has decent defense and he can give you an offensive, like a threat coming off the bench. Another trade that is in the trade rumors right now is the negotiation to get Greg Monroe to the Pelicans.
I think the Bucks said that they weren't trying to trade Greg Monroe or Jabari Parker.
Yeah.
So,
but the Pelicans are pushing for it. I mean, they're pushing because their biggest thing is they need help for Anthony Davis, like they said. And I think the most beneficial help you can get him is more so another big player, big name, well, not big name, but big man instead of wing players, because he's constantly getting double, triple team always. Like it's not as much as he was beginning of the season. Yeah, you bring in somebody like Greg Monroe where you get a little more attention that way. It frees up Anthony Davis, let him play the game more smoothly. But I think the biggest trade, if it happens, will be the Dwight Howard trade, because one that'll help the Nuggets team get that push for the playoffs, and it also free up money for the Rockets
to find
for this upcoming free agency where you can find pretty good names in it.
This is the thing, because this is the only tricky thing about Dwight Howard being traded. Because wherever Dwight Howard gets traded to, if you trade him, you got the team that's trading for him got to make sure he wants to stay there. Because if he's a free agent in the offseason, he can just walk after y'all trade him, and he's not obliged to stay. So I mean, you heard trade rumors about him possibly getting traded straight up for Hassan Whiteside from Miami, and in that trade instance, they most likely would seek probably another player to come with Hassan Whiteside to the Rockets, because I think Dwight Howard, I don't think we've seen the best of Dwight Howard. I think Dwight Howard's kind of fallen to the point of where Kevin Love has fallen. But I think that tends to happen when you go from being a number one option to being number two or number three. And it's no surprise James Harden loves to dominate the ball. The man leads the league in isolation plays. The man has as many isolation plays as the Warrior. He has as many isolation plays by himself as the Warriors do as a whole team. That's unreal. That means you just isolate all the time. So when you have a player like that who dominates the ball all the time, it's going to be hard for you to get your shots. I mean, he's averaging 14.6 points and 12 rebounds. So I mean, he's still playing pretty good. I mean, he's still averaging a double-double. He's not averaging as many points as we like to see from like the Orlando days when he used to average like 25 and 23 and 24. But he's still getting a good amount of points. And you could argue that it's a product of him playing with James Harden. Now, while Dwight Howard is getting older and his body is starting to break down on him, we've seen a lot more injuries from him in the most recent years. I think he can still be a good piece to a team that's trying to contend for a championship. Like, say if a team like would you guys think if he went to a team like Atlanta, maybe in a trade for maybe Paul Millsap or somebody, and then you put him in there, you put him in that front line with Al Horford, and then you have a Jeff Teague and stuff. Maybe you can make some noise in the Eastern Conference, in a conference that's relatively easy to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. If your name is Cleveland, you need somebody that's going to contend with Cleveland. I think it's relatively easy for them if you get a player like Dwight Howard that's like that one piece, and a team like the Celtics who have multiple assets because their assets all come in their draft picks.
Yeah.
While we assume they're not going to trade their Brooklyn Nets draft pick in their first round Brooklyn Nets draft pick, because I mean the Nets suck. So that's pretty much, you know, when the Nets suck, you're going to get a pretty good draft pick from them.
Can I say something
about
the Atlanta? Because Jeff Teague's been in the rumors as well, in the trade rumors as well.
I'm assuming that if you're
getting him, Jeff Teague's gone, and I don't think you gotta call it.
Yeah. Dang, I hurt my ears so bad. Hey, it's KBR Sports, the best sports talk show every 24-hour day. How can I help you?
Hey, I am just calling in just to talk about what they're talking about.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. You're trying to talk about the NBA trade rumors?
Yes.
All right. What's your perspective on it?
My perspective is this. So it is. It's basically one of those things that there's only a good handful of teams that are really good contenders, and they're not going to blow anything up when Dwight Howard's a rental, when all these good players are basically rentals besides Kevin Love. And there's really, in the East, you look, it's just the Cavaliers, maybe the Raptors. And then in the West, it's just the Thunder, Spurs, and Warriors. And none of those teams are going to risk the chemistry problems to get a big name who's just going to be a rental.
So what we were saying with the Hawks, do you see that being a potential, even though Jeff Teague might be gone with it?
Repeat what you said, my bad.
So do you see, let's say we're talking about him possibly going to the Hawks. So do you see Jeff Teague will more likely be a part of that trade? So do we see that team being better or worse with Jeff Teague gone?
My thing, so the Knicks have shown huge interest in Jeff Teague, but let's talk about Dwight Howard. He wants to be in Atlanta. I was reading yesterday. He's an Atlanta guy. He wants to be there. But the thing is Atlanta really, does Dwight Howard really push them over the top? And does that make them better than the Raptors and the Cavs? In my opinion, no. And the thing is there's teams that could benefit from Dwight Howard, yes, but really, is he going to help a team that much to get them over the hump and be better than the Cavs in the East, or be better than the Warriors, Spurs, or Thunder in the West? I just don't think so, and I think that's the reason why he's not gonna go anywhere.
Oh, let me put some out. See, Rashad, when you talk about Jeff Teague, I don't think Jeff Teague would be involved in a Dwight Howard trade because James Harden is the dominant ball handler there. And think about it, they already have Ty Lawson and Patrick Beverly on the roster. So I think if they traded with the Hawks, they would be looking for more of a big man return. With the Hawks trade, they would either look for a big man return or shooters return along with a big man.
You see, because that's what I'm saying. Because Paul Millsap wouldn't be that piece, though.
Paul Millsap can stretch the floor.
I don't think he'd be that piece that Atlanta want to get rid of, though, for someone like Dwight Howard.
But here's the thing: if you bring in Dwight Howard, Al Horford's role changes because Al Horford can shoot the outside shot. So Dwight Howard can take up most of the lane space, and you kind of have Al Horford play that fourth spot kind of. Because Al Horford isn't as he's an undersized big to an extent. I mean, he's about 6'10" or so, and so he's not an actual 7 foot. While Dwight Howard isn't either. Dwight Howard's jumping ability makes him seem like a 7-footer. So I feel like in any trade that would happen with the Rockets or the Hawks, Jeff Teague wouldn't be a part of that trade. So they would be able to keep that pick and roll action with Jeff Teague if they kept him there. Now, if a team starts asking for Kyle Korver, you got a problem because that's your shooter. That's the guy that a lot of your offense revolves around.
I mean, my thing is, I just can't get over the fact that I don't see a team giving up what's going to be needed to give up for Howard, because we know that the Rockets overvalue him like crazy. And let's just take the Hawks. There's really no pieces that fit in Houston seamlessly like Dwight Howard was thought to be, and it would really benefit them. That's James Harden's team. They are an ISO team, and the Hawks don't have anybody who can create their own shot. And I think that it's almost like there's just not a team that's the right match, if that makes any sense, for Dwight Howard.
So you see Dwight Howard staying, even though potentially his contract is being as high, when the Rockets clearly need another piece. So you still
do. I see him staying, not because they want to keep him, but because nobody wants to take him. He's already shown that he wants to go out and he wants to chase the money. Let's just be honest. Yeah. And nobody who who is going to get him is going to have him next year unless they just give him an offer that he can't refuse. So do you really want to give up somebody who's not going to get you over the hump? Or do you really want to give up a lot of people for somebody who's not going to get you over the hump just off of name value alone? I just don't think it's worth the price.
And see, with what the caller was saying, also, the Rockets want a first-round draft pick in the trade.
They do.
They do. They want a first round with the trade coming in from Dwight Howard.
They either want like a pick or they want a star player in return. But I feel as though with the instances, like, because what the situation the Rockets are in, you think that sort of they're kind of like locked in the hands kind of thing, because you don't know if he's going to walk, but then you don't want to let him go for nothing, and then you don't want to trade him just to trade him. Like, you want to get accessible trade value back. And every team, I mean, there's teams in the team in the East that has the most likable pieces to it is the Celtics. So they give you a lot of draft picks, and they have a lot of pieces there. But the only reason why I say the Hawks is because I feel like, because I don't think he would want to stay in Boston. So that'd be a rental, in my opinion.
Well, so you wouldn't be winning.
What do you say?
I said you wouldn't be winning.
I mean, do you think Dwight Howard makes the Celtics a contender? Because think about it, there's no big man in the East like that. There's no big man. So I think his role increases.
I'm a Celtics fan through and through, but the thing is that team is third in the East right now solely because of chemistry. They're really, when you look at the pieces, it's just a bunch of complimentary guys. They need a star player, but Danny Ainge just said he's not giving up that Brooklyn pick, which looks like it's going to be top 3.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then the other two picks are the Mavs first round pick and the Celtics first round pick. They're looking, it's going to be low to mid 20s in a weak draft. So those two picks aren't going to get Dwight Howard. And the thing is he's just like you said, he's not going to stay there. So do you really want to give up? They have to probably give up Jared Sullinger, those two, the Celtics and the Nets pick, or the Celtics and the Mavericks pick, and then throw in another guy for Dwight Howard who's going to be there for 2 months, who in the end he's not going to get them to beat the Cavs or the Raptors. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's interesting. Cause, I mean, for me, now if Dwight Howard went to, that's the only thing. It's all about how much you have to give up to get him. If you could take him to a team like the Hawks or somebody, or the Raptors, because think about it, Dwight Howard is an athletic enough big that when you play a team like Cleveland, you can do some pick and roll switches. You're not so out of position when when they run a lot of pick and roll with Kevin Love being at the 4, and Tristan Thompson's not really an offensive threat for the Cavaliers. He's merely there for defense and being an offensive rebounder. So when you have Dwight Howard there, LeBron James can't attack the paint like he normally does against most of these Eastern Conference teams. Kyrie Irving can't. And so then it changes kind of how teams have to play you. And then they don't have anybody that can physically match up with Dwight Howard like that. I mean, I feel like that's more of a thing for the Eastern Conference rather than when you go to the West and you find a lot of mismatches with Dwight Howard, because if you go whatever team has Dwight Howard and matches up against the Warriors or the Spurs, I feel like Dwight Howard is essentially neutralized by the Spurs. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it happens, because he's like the strongest guy on the court almost at all times, but he's neutralized. And then the Warriors, I mean, we all know the story of the Warriors, so I just don't even know how that would happen. But I think if whatever team, if you, depends on what you have to give up to get him. Like you were saying, the Celtics have great chemistry. Like what Brad Stevens is doing with that team is, it's amazing how he's taken Isaiah Thomas, who was an all-star this season under Brad Stevens. He's taken, all these guys and made complimentary guys, like you were saying, and made them great. Now, how about the prospect of Kevin Love possibly being traded? I mean, I know the Cavaliers said they wouldn't do it, but I remember the Celtics were trying to get Kevin Love in the offseason, and they were really eyeing him. And then the Cavaliers have pretty much said, we only want a star back for Kevin Love. And I mean, they're not going to get that. Nobody's going to trade away their star player for 15 and 10. Nobody's going to do that. So what do you think about the prospect of that happening?
I don't see that happening, simply because the Cavs, I mean, everybody at this point in time of the year always overvalues their guys. They want to make their guys seem as good as they are, even if they're not, so they can get a lot of value in return. But the thing is, do I believe Kevin Love is still a top 15 player? Absolutely, I do. He's been relegated to the third fiddle, which he's still, if you look at it, under Tyronn Lue, his percentages, his game overall, since they've opened up the floor under Lue, has exploded. He's gone back to the old Kevin Love. But the thing is the Celtics need a defender and the Celtics need a rebounder. Kevin Love can rebound, yes, but do you really want to put Kevin Love at the center? Absolutely not. So once again, I just don't see the Celtics getting him, because there's too much in return. Who are they going to give up? They'll give up the Nets pick. They'll give up the Celtics pick, and they'll give up the Mavericks pick. Okay, and then player-wise, who are they going to give up? Sullinger, Olynyk, and Jay Crowder, maybe. I mean, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, and they've made it adamant that nobody is going to touch that Nets pick. They made it like adamant that no, they're not willing to trade that Nets pick unless a guy like LeBron James is coming back in return. They're not trading away the Nets pick. So
I think a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, I agree with you. But caller, we appreciate you calling in, man. We appreciate you watching the show and supporting us. We appreciate all the love, man. You gave great
Insight.
Insight. Yeah. So we appreciate it.
Hey, thank y'all. Keep it up.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, guys. Like that was great call. Topic conversation. And for anybody that wants to call, like Rashad said earlier, number 757-683-4405. Yeah, guys, we're gonna move on to the next topic. And man, now that the All-Star break is passed, y'all, and before the season, early in the season, we asked this question, and Rashad is the only guy that had faith that the Warriors could do it. I mean, I remember I said 69 wins. I can't remember an exact number that Khalid had placed on it. We had other people here in the studio.
I said something close to the breaking the record, but
yeah,
not exactly.
I think we had Rudy here and he said 70. We had another dude, Nick, here, and he said 69 along with me. Rashad's the only guy that said I think they can get above 72. And right now, it's looking like it's likely 73. To happen. Yeah, it's looking like they really can break the record. And it's astonishing because you look at it, the Warriors and like we always go through all these numbers. I feel like we always do this every week. We go through all the numbers about how great the Warriors are. Guys, the Warriors are number 2 in defense and defensive efficiency. The number 1 in offensive efficiency. Stephen Curry is just a baller. He's too good. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. It's just
he finally claimed to say he's the best player in the NBA. I appreciate him for saying that. Finally,
he did. He
had to come back for LeBron.
He feels like he's the best player. I give him his
on the best team. That's on the best team.
Yeah, LeBron can't say that.
Yeah.
Cavaliers ain't the best team, but the Warriors are 48-4. They in order to break the record, they can only lose 5 more times for the rest of the season. And right now, like I was saying earlier in the show, they have to play San Antonio 3 more times, 2 times in San Antonio, and the Oklahoma City Thunder 2 more times, who are their main threats in the Western Conference. And they play the Clippers this Saturday. So guys, now that we've seen half of the season go through, we're halfway through the season. Do you think they're really going to do it? Like, they're going to break the record? I feel like there's this thing, and we're all always scared to say, man, history is going to be made. Like, it's sacred territory, but do you really think it's going to happen?
Can I start this one?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I know you wanted to. You're like,
yeah, he was like,
edge closer. See, this is how I feel about it. We've seen where they can't hit threes. We've seen Steph Curry play a good team and not hit his threes. But then you have Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala start knocking everything down. They don't miss. It's like the sliders go down for one character, but the rest of the team it goes up.
Man. So this ain't 2K, man.
It's
not 2K. So, come on.
It's crazy because we can say they're like the old Dukes team that live and die by the 3, but they haven't died by the 3 yet.
Nah, they haven't.
And if you notice the teams they lose to, they don't lose to any good teams. So all these teams we expect to win, they don't lose to.
And you think about all their losses. Think about this. Some of their losses, they're not even fully healthy.
Yeah, they're not fully healthy. Yeah. They're not all like
relatively fully healthy now.
So I'm just like, are these bad teams that's beating them really going to continue to beat them? Like 3 of the 4 losses were to bad like teams under 500.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So can we keep expecting them to lose to teams under 500 as much as they're clicking now? Like it was the beginning of the season now. It was like we're 20 games in, but now we're 50 games in.
Yeah,
30 games.
So can we really see them losing to these bad teams anymore? Like, come on now. It took a buzzer beater to beat the 76. Come on. Like, do you see that happening again? The problem is I do see them losing 1 to the Spurs. I do see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I do see the Thunder giving them a good game. Do I see the Thunder beating them? I don't know. Because like you said, when it gets down to the end, they go away from the team ball and they go isolation ball. And as we see with the Rockets, isolation ball doesn't work no more.
Nope.
So I don't see the Thunder pulling one off. But I do see the Spurs because I know Greg Popovich is going to be ready for them. Greg Popovich, if it comes down to, as we saw in the All-Star game, Greg Popovich doesn't like records being broken.
Nah, man.
So, as we saw,
not a fan of it.
So if it comes down to like this is the final chance, this is the last ride, they got to go through us to get it. Oh, everybody's playing. Everybody's playing. Everybody's playing.
Get Timmy out there. Get Patty. Get Tony Parker. Get Kawhi's brother. I don't care. Get the guy with the dreads. Get him. Get all of them.
Everybody's playing.
Like, man, I'm playing now.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's playing. He's if it comes down to this is the last top team they got to go through before the record is broken, you can best believe everybody's playing for the Spurs.
All right, let me hear what Carla has to say. Carla, what do you think?
30 games left. This halfway through the season, and they only 4 losses. I don't know. That record is looking kind of close. I do feel like that. Like what Rashad was saying, they was losing early. They was losing to these teams under 500. But the question is, what was those teams doing that allowed them to overcome the Warriors? Oh, you said they weren't relatively healthy, but can they be relatively healthy for 30 more games?
Health plays a big part.
I know.
Health plays a big part.
So, I mean, they've been healthy for as long as they've been, and they've gotten this far. So, I'm hoping that they do stay healthy because it would be amazing to see them break that record.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a great thing for Stephen Curry to have, for Klay Thompson, for Andre Iguodala, and Draymond Green, and all of them. But you know, things may happen for the rest of the season, and hopefully they don't. But maybe these teams under 500 may give them a loss or two, and maybe even the Spurs may hand them a loss or something. But I do think that they may break the record this time. They will break the record. They may take a couple more losses, but I do think they might break the record.
Man, this is just like, I just look at the numbers. Steph averaging 29.8 points a game. It's on 45% shooting from 3, 50% shooting from the field. I just don't get it. I just wish. I wish, man. How do you get the touch? How do you do it? Just let me know. He hit a shot in the All-Star game that was a 40-footer. He hit the shot.
And it was a regular jump shot at that. It wasn't like, you shoot half court, so they'd be like even it.
Like, guys,
regular jump
and I know in the All-Star game they're not playing defense like that, but nobody's guarding him for 40 feet. So he would in a regular game he would have hit the same shot. So he hits that 40-footer, and I'm just sitting there. I legit looked at my television and I was like, somebody has to put some, God has to make this fair. you can't keep allowing this to happen. You can't let this dude keep doing this, man, because he's just not making it. It's when you see somebody hitting shots from 40 feet from the logo of places. My man was beyond the All-Star L's when he hit this shot. That's how far he was. I just don't get it anymore. So at this point, you're just sitting there. You're like, man, the only thing that could really beat this team is themselves and their health. Mm-hmm. And as long as you have Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green healthy, arguably this team is unbeatable because those are the 3 people that make it work. One of the losses came, Steph was hurt. Another loss came, Klay was hurt. You know what I mean? Another loss,
Draymond rested.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, their losses come when these guys aren't in the lineup. But when they're in the lineup, they've only lost about 2 games. One of the games was against the Bucks when Klay had just come back from injury, and they had just finished playing a double overtime. No
Harrison Barnes, though.
Yeah, no Harrison Barnes either. Yeah, you're right. No Harrison Barnes. And they had just finished playing a double overtime game against the Celtics. Mm-hmm. So you sit there and look at it. You're like, man, so you're telling me now they've gotten a week to rest. They got a whole week to rest. Everybody's healthy now. Everybody's just chilling at home. They're just sitting there enjoying themselves.
Just stretching, ready for the next
game. You know what I mean? And you're telling me that they just have 30 games left to get through. And it's
they can
30
only lose
games.
5?
They can only lose 5. They've only lost 4 to this point in order to break the record.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's telling me they can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I said there's no team that's telling me. I see the Spurs. Yeah, Spurs can give them a loss,
but they overcame the Spurs.
Yeah, they whooped the Spurs. The last time they played,
they overcame Cleveland.
OKC can give them. They overcame Cleveland. They overcame OKC. OKC has shown that they're going to give them a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Until the end. And
isolation ball. Now, but I think that you look at the film and you review what you did wrong, and I think OKC can review the film and be like, hey, come down the stretch. You played a lot of isolation ball. And OKC jumped out to an early 9-0 lead. Mm-hmm. Then the bench came in, and that's where OKC's Achilles heel. That's where
their bench couldn't provide them points.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the Achilles heel of OKC is, which is why now everybody's talking about, you know what I'm saying? You need a piece. And it's Cantor supposed to be that guy, but for some reason, I just don't get what OKC does sometimes. They got a guy that can play in the post. The Warriors got small people on the floor, yet they're playing OKC starting to shoot through Cameron Payne and everybody else. I'm like, so Enes Kanter is the best scorer on the floor, but you're not giving him the ball.
Yeah.
Can't imagine being a big man.
Hey, we have another comment too about the record. It says, I didn't believe in the Warriors early on, but I'm starting to believe in them now. but I don't see them breaking the record. They will rest players. They will succumb to injuries, I believe, and I think the Spurs will unseat them at the end. See, this is where with the comment. This is where I agree with the person. I agree that coming at the end, Greg Popovich is gonna be like everybody's playing.
Right? Yeah, I feel like
that's gonna happen.
I feel like it's gonna be another like Cinderella kind of story, like with Cam Newton and the Panthers. They get all the way into the end, and then they get beaten. So
now I don't see it coming down to like one game beating the record.
Well, no, of course not.
I see the record getting broken and then rest. That's how I see.
You think so?
And for resting them, Steph Curry and the whole team already said they're not resting. They want the record.
They do want.
They want the record. It's not about we're going into the playoffs. To rest it. No, we want this record first and then go into the playoffs.
God.
They probably gonna break the record and then push even further.
The only way I see them resting is because Steve Kerr's like, no, you ain't touching my record.
For real though. But here's the only thing though. Even if the Spurs beat them, they only play the Spurs 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So where are the other six losses gonna come from?
I mean, like we said, we still see those random teams that beat them out.
Yeah, that's the thing. But that's when they're not healthy.
Here's the thing. When you play those lower level teams and earlier in the season, and you're the record, because think about it, they were further away from the record when they lost those games.
Mm-hmm.
Now as you get closer, you're gonna play basketball a lot more urgently. You're gonna start playing like it's game 7. You're gonna be like, we're not losing this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna start playing because it's not because the thing with the Panthers was like the Panthers' mistakes were hidden up or covered up in their wins. You know what I mean? Like the Panthers, the lack of receiver help and everything was covered up through them winning. And then the Falcons exposed it and their secondary got exposed.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors aren't getting exposed anywhere. They played the best teams
and dubbed them.
And destroyed them. And then they played the weak teams, and we can't even say they got exposed against the weak teams
because they didn't have all their players.
Yeah, they were hurt. So it's like,
and it wasn't like those blowout games. It was all close.
Exactly. They were all close.
All single-digit losses.
I just can't. I sit here. I'm trying to do the math. I'm just like, man. I'm just trying to find out somebody. Just somebody give me a chance. Maybe you know what? We are sleeping on the Clippers though, because the Clippers always play the Warriors tough, and those teams don't like each other. It's because of a lot of playoff battles they had. I mean, don't got Blake Griffin this time, but a lot of playoff battles they've had. Those two teams don't like each other. So could the Clippers beat them?
I mean, they match up small. They can match up,
and they're in the same. They're both in the Pacific Division. They're all in the same division. So
speaking of that division, before we switch over to the next topic,
we suck. Lakers suck.
Lakers suck.
Lakers suck. I'm sorry because you know the thing that made me even say. I looked at my lanyard and I was like, "We suck." The minute
you know about the division,
yeah. The minute you said the division, speaking of the division, I automatically looked at my lanyard. I was like, "We suck." I thought that came in my head.
Kobe will get 1 win against them this season.
That's crazy.
Well, they got 2 more. I think they got to play 1 or 2 more times.
That's crazy. 1 or 2 more times, and they're gonna get them.
I mean, they got dubbed the first 2 times. I already know that for sure.
Rashad, please.
Hey, gotta have faith.
Rashad, you want to take this back? Please, I'll give you a chance. Rashad, I'm gonna give you a chance, bro. Just say you're just joking. We'll call it a day. Say April Fools came early for you. Yeah, say
forget all about it.
To what I say.
Oh, no.
Please don't. Yeah, you stick to what you say like Elmer's glue, huh? Just let it go, bro. Just let it go. Bad Scotch tape. No, man, just let it go. Oh, Rashad,
don't finish that.
I'm giving you a chance. Just undo your wrong.
Next, the bean.
Okay. Guys, next time the Lakers play, I'm a Lakers fan too, man. And I know Rashad's statement right here is entirely biased. So, guys, when the Lakers play the Warriors next time, we'll come on here and I'm gonna count every point that we lost over. I'm gonna count each one of them to Rashad and be like, so we're gonna win, huh? I'll be surprised if the total isn't below 50 for the next few losses. I'll be surprised if the total isn't over 50. Man,
they ain't blowing out nobody in 50 points.
Like almost did it to the Cavaliers. Cavaliers are down by 40 at one point. They were down by 40 at one point. And you tell me the Lakers can't lose by in total for the rest of the season, the total points they could lose by? Lakers suck, man. Lakers suck. They don't know what they're doing.
Man said, and the thing about the division.
Yeah, man. No, like the Pacific Division is just the Golden State and the Clippers. That's all it is. Nobody at Sacramento, move. Lakers, move. We suck. We're done. No. Anyways, go on to the next. I'm just sorry, man. I gotta tell the truth. I'm a passionate fan, man, and I tell how it is, and I see how it is. When you only got 11 wins on the season, you know what your fate is pointing towards. Guys, going on to the last topic. That last topic was passionate, man. When Rashad about the league, I'm sorry, but going on to this topic, we're gonna talk about the Mount Rushmore because President's Day was only a few days ago. So, we're gonna look at the kind of the all-around totality of sports and say, who would be on the sports Mount Rushmore? You only got 4 faces put up there now. Now, if you talk about the most impactful sports, you want to talk internationally, you got soccer, you got a lot of different basketball, you got a lot of different sports, and then you got football in America, and then you got tennis, you got golf, you got all these different. You got at the NHL now, guys, MLB. So who goes on the Mount Rushmore of sports of all time? Khalid, let's start with you because Rashad definitely wanted to start off that last topic. So let's start with you for this topic. Who do you think goes on the Mount Rushmore of sports?
I give it to my man Jordan, of course. Babe Ruth. I'll give it to Joe Montana.
Joe. Okay.
And Serena Williams.
Serena.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Can't knock you on that one.
Yeah, that's actually surprising.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming, man.
Yeah.
I like it though.
I
have to put Serena in there because she just changed the game.
She's been the most dominant tennis player. It doesn't even make any sense.
Her game is just amazing.
She's just dominating Serena is just a physical, she's so physically dominant over the other people. Maria Sharapova is supposed to be her main competition,
but
the woman hasn't won against her in years. And the people, every single time they play, they're like, Serena's #1 competition. The person that can knock her off. I'm like, when?
She ain't losing.
Yeah, I'm like, when's it gonna happen? She hasn't lost her in how long? And then their record against each other is just demoralizing. So it's just like, what? But yeah, Rashad, what's your Mount Rushmore looking like?
See, my Mount Rushmore consists of Messi, who will become the #1 player of all time once his career is over. He'll pass Pele. Jordan, of course.
So you put him up there right now. Right now. No,
he has to. He has to.
Yeah,
he's basically already there.
Go on.
You said go on.
Yeah, go on.
You got Jordan, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Jackie Robinson instead of Babe Ruth. And then we got who did I just had it to Bo Jackson. Multi-sport athlete before his era was the athlete.
Man, guys, y'all list is very different. I didn't even expect it. I didn't expect it at all. I honestly didn't expect it. But for me, the crazy thing is when we're talking about, because I feel like everybody just automatically puts Michael Jordan up there.
I mean,
but I understand why. I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be up there.
Notice I didn't say him first though.
Yeah, I know you didn't say him first, but think about it. Because there were people that came before Michael Jordan that set the stage for Michael Jordan. Like there was a Dr. J, there was an Oscar Robertson, there was a Wilt, there was Kareem, those guys like that set the stage for Jordan to be. There was Magic, there was Larry, there was guys that set the stage for Jordan to be who Jordan was. So it's like, man. And then I also look at it as because Dr. J was a big guy in the community as well. He was a huge guy, especially with all the things that were going on with the war and everything that was going on during the time. A lot of these guys came together, like Oscar Robertson and a lot of those guys, Jim Brown. A lot of these guys came together at the summit, and when they were speaking for their rights and everything to not have to fight in the war. So my Mount Rushmore, I gotta put Muhammad Ali on there. My man, the boxing legend. I gotta put Muhammad Ali up there, man. Muhammad Ali is just the most polarizing boxing figure of all. But
we got the gloves and the logo too.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like Muhammad Ali, what he did for boxing is just changed boxing. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like him and his rivals. And Muhammad Ali, there's so many great quotes that Muhammad Ali has. A lot of motivational videos we see a lot of times for our athletes in today's game. A lot of those come inspired by Muhammad Ali. So I would have to say him. See, football is very difficult to put a Mount Rushmore because you're taking one player in a very team-oriented sport and saying that he was the face of that sport. And Rashad put Bo, you put Joe Montana, Khalid. Football is tough.
Bo was great at both sports.
Bo was great at both sports. Deion Sanders was great at both sports. And Deion Sanders won rings. You know what I mean? And Deion Sanders made all-stars in both sports. So if I had to put a Mount Rushmore for football, I'd put Walter Payton. Because Walter Payton Walter Payton's like the guy that everybody looks up to in football. He's the guy that he was a big standard. He was a big staple in the community. He was a big statue in the community. He did a lot of things for his community also and for the football world as a running back. And I think a lot of people our age to this extent, because I had to really research Walter Payton to learn about him. That's why they even give out the Walter Payton Award nowadays. They give out all these awards in the name of Walter Payton. So I'd have to say Walter Payton for football. Basketball, man. I just get stuck, man. Basketball's tough. I mean, of course, Michael Jordan's an easy answer, but then you got guys like Bill Russell. It's tough. Basketball is tough. Oh gosh.
Because see, technically, you can always just. It don't have to be the best player. People say the best.
Yeah,
player. It's most. It can be most impactful.
Yeah, it's the most impactful player. That's the thing for me. Like Bill Russell was a very impactful player in basketball. Like he was one of those players that went up to that summit for all those players. Like when they all refused to go into for the Vietnam War, and Muhammad Ali and them, all of them went there. Jim Brown, all of them were there. And so it's like, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. But I'll say I'm going to put Michael Jordan in there because, I mean, he's the face of basketball. Like whenever everybody says who's the greatest to do this, Michael Jordan was the greatest to do it. And granted, Michael Jordan might not have been as
many championships.
As been as big a societal figure as those guys. Michael Jordan did do a lot for society. You know what I mean? Michael Jordan made baggy shorts cool. You know what I'm saying? He made all that
cool. Sneakers that cost $200.
This man has sold sneakers for over 30 years to children who never watched him play. I just don't even understand it. Like these kids have never seen Michael Jordan play, and
his shoes.
Yep, and they'll buy his shoes. It's like the legacy of Jordan will continue to live on. And then what that dream team did, I mean, it wasn't just Jordan. It was Magic, Larry, all of them. But that dream team, the big buzz was Michael Jordan. So I'll say Michael because of that too, because that's what helped basketball become an international sport, was that dream team and having Jordan there. Because a lot of people were saying the dream team wasn't going to work as well as it did if Jordan wasn't on the team. So having Michael Jordan on that team is what made the dream team such a big deal. But that's the reason why we talk about why Isaiah Thomas might have been left off the dream team, because him and Jordan, we know about the bad boy Pistons and the Bulls. So that's not the reason why Isaiah might have been left off the dream team.
Who's your last one?
Yeah.
Last one, baseball or tennis, golf, hockey. I do like your Babe Ruth pick. And the thing is, I think Willie Mays and Barry Bonds are very underrated. Barry Bonds doesn't get into all that trouble with all the steroid stuff, all that speculation of him and steroids. Barry Bonds could easily be the best baseball player of all time. But I look at players who also dominated the sport as well. Like you look at golf with Phil Mickelson. You look at Tiger Woods. Like you said, tennis, Serena Williams. Like these are guys. These are people that are the face of their sports and have like cultivated their sports. So goodness, I probably say I put Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth. I probably say Babe Ruth because I agree with your Jackie Robinson thing as well. Yeah, but I think Babe Ruth was also a big impactful player. And the man won over 1,000. He was 1,914 career wins to like 35 losses. That's crazy. That is. You know what I mean? The man played for the Yankees, the Braves, all these teams. That's crazy. You know what I mean? He was a winner. So that'd be my Mount Rushmore. But guys, go. Yeah,
someone actually wanted this. Actually, we could please introduce their list.
Okay, yeah,
because it's actually an interesting list too.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
So the list is actually from our caller who just called in actually.
Okay.
And they said they had Jackie Robinson on it. They had Bill Russell. They had Pele, and they had Walter Payton. No Jordan.
Oh wow.
No Jordan.
Wait, repeat the list again.
So we got Jackie Robinson, Bill Russell, Pele, and Walter Payton.
Yeah, see, I can see that. I can see that because I mean, you see how big those guys are, or those people are in their sports. And you see a comment here. You see somebody say you have to vote for Serena or she'll kick you know what. I can see why you say that too. Guys, comment, tweet us your opinions on this.
Send us to everybody with the comments on Rabble TV.
Yeah, and also tweet on Twitter. Yeah, we appreciate
been interactive during the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. I know the YouTube chat. We wish we had the YouTube chat.
We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, I'm actually getting all the comments through the YouTube chat.
Oh, you're getting them. Oh, see, Rashad's seen it, man. Rashad's seen it. Rashad got y'all. You see, Rashad's active. See, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the show. See, I couldn't find the YouTube chat, but Rashad got the YouTube chat going on. You can't do it by yourselves, y'all. You can't do it by yourselves. But yeah, make sure y'all tweet us at KBR_sports. You can always, mention your list. Tell us your list, and we'll mention them next time on the show, maybe. And we'll just bring it up early in the show to see all the different varying lists that we see for the Mount Rushmore of sports. Because everybody's gonna have a different opinion because there's so many different sports.
We'll see.
Just comment below.
Yeah, comment, tweet it to us. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can leave your comments on this video because it's going to be up. So you can leave your comments on this video, and we'll make sure to mention it in our next show. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. It's been KBR Sports, the best sports talk show of your 24-hour day, coming to you on WODU Live, the best in college radio. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like I just said, at KBR Sports. You see our past shows and past segments, and also subscribe to the WODU Live YouTube channel. You can see our shows on there, and listen to us on Rabble TV. You know, you can see our shows on there. You can hear our podcast, and also on Spreaker. You can hear it, man, and iTunes.
Yeah,
Guys, if y'all tell me y'all don't got iTunes, yo,
look at
get struck down. Get struck down with lightning, because everybody with an iPhone should have iTunes. You got to set up your account somehow. Okay, so somebody's gonna have iTunes. So, you know, make sure you listen to us on iTunes as well. And we appreciate all the support, everybody. And also, don't forget the events upcoming this week and next week with the Veterans Health event going on the 20th, on the Veterans Health Fair, like Carla said, on the 20th. That's coming down. That Rashad, we said the time was 9
a.m. to 1 p.m.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Make sure you guys come out, show support for that, show support for WODU. You know, we're gonna make it big, guys. And then also next week at the at Work Release, we're gonna have an event going on there also.
Thursday.
What do you say?
The Throwback Thursday.
Throwback Thursday, guys. You want to hear your best, your anthems from back in the day? Show up, man. Oh no. We gotta go. Rashad starting to sing, man. We gotta go. When he starts getting into it, he gonna get into it, and he gonna go on. This man gonna give you a concert. Yeah, you see.
Oh man,
wait. See, all the '90s kids remember that. It's all that, man. All that. Yeah. But yeah, guys, the address for the event on next week Thursday is gonna be 759 Granby Street at Work Release. Don't forget, y'all. Make sure you come out, show your support for WODU Studios and WIR. All right, y'all have a great day.